want to live.
Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
This is it. Don't get scared.
Hello and welcome back to a brand new Flick live show. This is it. Don't get scared now. How are you guys doing? Thanks for joining me once again. And if you guys are hanging out talking about movies with me, please grab something salty to eat, some popcorn or a caffeinated beverage like the one I have right here. And today, I want to talk about 5 main topics, and then we can dive into your magical and mystical questions. But this week has been hectic. It almost feels like we're inundated with way too much movie news, new movies, rumors, speculation, a lot of ins, a lot of outs, a lot of what have yous. But the most important thing to know is we're talking about movies right now. So cuddle up. Take off your pants. Whatever you want to do, you're allowed to do it, okay? And by the way, check out my awesome Predator t-shirt. If it bleeds, we can kill it. I bought this in Hollywood. I actually have a Flick Trip video I posted last month where I buy this shirt at Amoeba Records in Los Angeles. And I bought a large. And this shirt is feeling like a medium at the moment. And maybe I'm getting fatter because the older I get, it feels like the wider I'm getting. But yeah, it's like outside of making videos, I would probably not wear this outside of the house. It's just a little tight in all the wrong places. But I will say, I like the way it lays on the biceps. Look at that, huh? Do it! Okay, so let's dive into the topics. Today we're talking all about Mission Impossible 8, The Final Reckoning, or is it? And what did I think about the movie? Then we're going to talk about the new Superman trailer, which is sort of like the weird divisive thing on the internet. Twitter does not care about politics. It doesn't care about economical needs in the state of the world. No, we care about the shade of underwear that a fictional superhero is wearing in a trailer. I love it. Then we're going to talk all about Final Destination Bloodlines and what I thought about that. And then we're going to talk about the name change of HBO Max, which was called Max, originally called HBO. Now they're going back to HBO Max. We'll talk all about that. And then I want to dive into a novel that might just be one of the best books I've ever read. And the reason we're going to talk about it, since we don't typically review novels, we talk about movies, but they are adapting the novel Project Hail Mary into a novel which will be released next March in 2026, starring Ryan Gosling, and it's a really cool book, so I can't recommend it enough. So without further ado, what do you guys say we just dive into the topics today? And the first topic we're going to talk about is the brand new Mission Impossible movie, Mission Impossible 8. And I love me some Tom Cruise, always have, always will. Ever since I saw Risky Business when I was probably 6 years old, I was like, I cannot wait until my parents leave me alone for the weekend so I can dance around in my underwear and call hookers. And so suffice it to say, I've been a fan of Tom Cruise for a very long time, but I've also been a fan of the Mission Impossible franchise for a very long time. And I'm sort of giving you guys, because I like you guys more than anyone else, I'm giving you guys my inside scoop because I haven't even posted my review yet, so I'm probably going to put that out tomorrow over on my main channel, The Flick Pick. But I saw an early screening of this last week in Chicago, so I drove 3 hours to Chicago, and if you know anything about Chicago, there's nowhere to park. So I went into this parking garage at the AMC on the east side of Chicago, and there was no signs telling you the cost of how much it was. So I was like, how much could it be? Come to find out, it was $20 an hour. I got there 3 hours early. It was a 3-hour movie, and then I hung out after the movie for a couple minutes, so it was sort of a very expensive free movie to go watch. But when I was watching the screening of the film, and it was in Dolby Vision, and it sounded really cool, looked pretty awesome, but I will say the exit signs at the AMC in Chicago, as nice of an auditorium as it was, the exit signs are so fucking bright that you could literally see the light resonating onto the screen on the side and sort of dulling out the picture. So I think they should maybe get some new LED lights in there because it was like having a spotlight in your eyeballs when you tried to watch the movie. And then a quick little backstory. I like to share the little things in life with you guys. was there was an empty seat beside me, and keep in mind it was a packed screening of the movie. There was an empty seat beside me, and then there was some kid that had like a broccoli haircut in the other seat with his family. And then in my empty seat, I put my hoodie, I put my Twizzlers, I put my snacks, all my goodies, right? Because that's my seat. You're not allowed to sit here. This is for me. This is where I keep my snacks. And the kid kind of was like looking over at my snack pile, and he's probably like 15, 16 years old. And I looked over at him and I stared at him in the eyes, and I meant to be funny about it, but it went on way too long. And after about 10 seconds of me just staring dead into his eyes and him waiting on me to say something, I finally said, "Don't take my Twizzlers." He just looked at me with the most awkward glare, kind of smiled, turned away, and never once acknowledged me or even looked my direction for the 3-hour runtime of Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. So I'm sorry for making that an awkward experience for you, but I would have shared my Twizzlers with you. No, I wouldn't have. But as far as this movie goes, the trailer is awesome. There's some awesome action that goes down in it. But ultimately, I think it's a very forgettable movie. I really do. And sorry, this is not working. You try to do cool things and it just doesn't work. Here we go. Does that work? No, not working. Let me try to fix this. Hang on. Window capture. There we go. There we go. There we go. Still not working? So anyway, as far as the movie Mission Impossible goes, and please share your thoughts down below if you're looking forward to it or if you've seen it. It's a 3-hour movie that does not need to be 3 hours. And I would say there's probably an hour and a half of expositional dialogue throughout this movie where they're just explaining the convoluted, contrived plot. And really, at the bare bones of what this movie is, it's basically the plot to Terminator. Skynet comes online, wants to shoot off nuclear missiles, and only one man can save the planet, and that man's name is Ethan Hunt, played by Tom Cruise. And I have no problems with anything that Tom Cruise actually does in this movie. I think there's 2 really standout action set pieces that blew me away. And if for anything else, I have a lot of problems with this movie, but I will say this. Go see this movie up on the big screen. Pay for those overpriced movie tickets. Pay for that overpriced popcorn. Definitely sneak your own snacks in. And go watch this movie for the spectacle of those practical stunts that go down in this film from Tom Cruise. There's an awesome diving sequence that gave me chills. I loved it so much. And I have this weird phobia about the open ocean and large bodies of water. So this scene really put me on the edge of my seat. And then there's the very famous plane sequence that you see all over the posters for the movie, where there's a couple prop planes and there's a fight happening. And that was a really cool sequence as well. But as far as the story goes, and as far as all the supporting characters, they all show up. The entire IMF team shows up again. But really, it doesn't feel like anyone has anything that important to do. And it sort of feels like they're forcing them into the movie. The other thing about this is, why does this keep going off? I hate it. The other thing about this is the villain of the film, I absolutely hated with a passion. Now, if you saw Dead Reckoning, do you remember the villain Gabriel, who was this fanatic of this AI entity that wants to take over the world for some obscene reason? I did not like his character. I thought he was boring at best, not menacing, and not at all a threat. That's how I perceived the character. And as far as the entire concept of this AI entity, I think the concept sounds really cool, but as far as the execution goes, it's not. It's sort of like if there was an action movie that came out in 1993 and the internet was a new thing, and some screenwriter was like, you know what, I think AI should be the villain of this movie. I don't quite know what it is, but I'm going to put it into this script. And that's sort of what this feels like. It feels like someone's interpretation of AI before AI was a thing. It feels like the movie Virtuosity, or whatever it was called, from like the mid-1990s. And every time this AI presence is on screen talking with its evil AI voice, The only thing that they show to represent AI is this pulsating visual effects graphic that looks like, if you guys ever used Windows Media Player on your PC in the early 2000s, whenever you listen to music and it had that visualizer on the screen with like graphics moving around and pulsating, that's what AI is in this movie. So, but I do still recommend checking the movie out for the action stunt pieces. And pretty much that's it. I wish the movie was better than it was. But really, this is sort of like the follow-up, the sequel to Dead Reckoning, which was one of my least favorite Mission Impossible movies. I much prefer like the original or Ghost Protocol. And I think my favorite is probably Fallout. I much prefer that tone. But in this new Mission Impossible movie, the tone is very satire-ish. Everyone is so self-aware of the absurdity of what this movie is. And there's so many jokes that sort of almost break the fourth wall without quite breaking it, that sort of took me out of it. Like, all of the characters reference how obscene the plot to this movie is. And everyone makes the joke. It's sort of like a running gag throughout the movie where they all talk about, yeah, Ethan Hunt, he's the most loyal agent, but he never follows orders. And he's the only man to get this job done. It's like a gag throughout the movie. So it's a little heavy-handed at times, but the best way I can sum this movie up is it's the perfect movie for dads to take their kids to because they're divorced and they have their kids on the weekend. And this is a type of movie that my dad would have taken me to. But definitely not the best Mission Impossible movie. And I'm not even sure if it might be the last. Who knows? But with a budget of $400 million, I don't know if this movie's going to make a lot of money in terms of profitability, because it costs $400 million. And Dead Reckoning didn't do all that well at the box office, so I'm really curious to see how this performs. I hope it does well, because I don't want movies like this to die, especially once again, going back to the practical stunt work in this movie. It's nice to see awesome things happening up on the big screen that don't all take place in front of a green screen. So I will give it credit there. All right, and the next main topic I want to talk about today is, well, hang on. Sorry, I got to get my technical things going in order here. There's nothing ever works when I try to do it. But anyway, we got a brand new trailer for the new upcoming Superman movie, and this is so divisive. It's almost scary how divisive this movie is on the internet. And at the end of the day, it's just a comic book movie. I get it, you know. Some people, this is sort of like their life. And I get it. We all have our things. As far as this trailer goes, after watching it a handful of times, there's a lot I like about it, but I still have some doubts going into this. And keep in mind, this is from the cinematographer of the movie The Flash. And I've thought this since the first time I saw the teaser to Superman. It looks very digital. It sort of looks like the Flash movie that not a lot of people liked. But at the same time, I'm sort of intrigued by the style they're going for. I will say, if I had to be nitpicky with it, it does look a little overexposed at times, but I still think it looks like a good time. And if for nothing else, at least we're getting a bright, fun, bold Superman movie, and it looks like they're giving it their all, right? Good or bad, it looks like they're at least giving it their all. Their interpretation is hitting the big screen, and I'm curious to watch it. But some of my doubts aren't really with David Cornsweet, who plays Superman. They're not with the cast or supporting actors or even the villain Lex Luthor. It just looks like they're throwing so much other shit in this movie revolving around the DC universe to try to jumpstart that universe. You see Superman fighting a kaiju. You see the Green Lantern. You see the Justice League showing up. You have Hawkgirl in there. And it's just, at what point is this going to take away from the narrative of just telling a Superman movie? I don't know. Maybe it'll be perfectly balanced, as all things should. But nevertheless, I talked all about this in a couple videos. I did a trailer reaction, and I told you guys once I was probably never going to do another trailer reaction. And that's not because I don't necessarily want to react to a trailer or watch a trailer with you guys. It's just I want to be genuine when I do it. And I did post that trailer reaction right here on this channel. And I will tell you this. Going into that trailer reaction, I may or may not have taken an edible, and I was feeling good, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch this new Superman trailer, and whatever I get, I get. And if my reaction wasn't interesting, or if I didn't have anything to say, I probably wouldn't have posted the video, and you'd never know it existed. But I did do a trailer breakdown of this on the Flick Pick channel. I talked all about it, what I liked, what I didn't like. So what do you guys think about the new Superman trailer? Marcus F says, I'm curious how the HDR will look for it on 4K. Yeah, you know, if for nothing else, I think this new Superman movie will look awesome at home when you watch it on 4K. It's bright, it's sharp, it's crisp. So that could be fun on a rainy day. But yeah, it's fine. Also, I think my favorite thing about it is the music. I like that electric guitar sound, that electric riff with the Superman theme playing. Give it to me now. But yeah, chime in. What did you guys think about this trailer? Also, I liked that they sort of did this opening mock interview with Lois Lane, who I like Lois Lane just from the little bits I'm getting of her in this movie. She feels like a real person, and I like that interpretation of Lois Lane. But as far as Clark Kent goes, even in that little snippet that you get of him answering these mock interview questions, he instantly gets crazy with rage. I was trying to save people! But I get it. Trust me, as a dude who gets in arguments with my wife about the dumbest shit throughout the day, I get it. And I couldn't imagine, like, saving people from impending doom or a war that was going to happen, and then everyone's just like, yeah, but you should have asked permission before you did it. Fuck you. So anyway, so I sort of agree with Superman in this movie. What did you guys think about it? All right. GF Hostman says, does the villain at least have a backstory? In Mission Impossible, the Final Reckoning, not kind of really is my answer. You know a little bit about him, but it's like it's two sentences and you don't care. All right, let's go to the next topic here. And the next topic I want to talk about is a brand new movie we just got. It was 14 years of waiting, but we finally got a brand new Final Destination movie. I just put out my review for this on the Flickpick channel. Go check it out. Please go check it out. It's up right now. I talk all about it. There's a fun little skit in there that probably costs about $500 million to make. It's got special effects that would rival Avatar, so eat your heart out, James Cameron. But as far as this new Final Destination movie goes, I thought it was fine. I didn't hate it, and I didn't love it. I think it just sort of feels like a Final Destination sequel. It's a copy and paste of the same formulaic plot that you've been watching in every single Final Destination movie. Literal beat for beat. And really, when it comes to these movies, people are like, hey, we don't give a shit about the plot. We don't care about the characters. We don't care about any of those things. We want to see over-the-top, gruesome CGI death scenes that have gotten to the point where they're no longer terrifying to watch. They're now funny. Like you could add a comedy laugh track from The Big Bang Theory to some of the death scenes in this, and that's what people would want to see. And for me, I get it. I get that cheesy schlock. That's a good time. You're watching a dumb movie in the theater, eating popcorn. Oh, look, that guy's head got ripped off. Isn't that funny? I get it. I completely understand it, and I'm there with you. But I also think it's a balancing act when it comes to a tone of a movie. And for me, when I watch a horror film, I sort of want to be scared. And I think at times there's little slivers of that still in the Final Destination franchise. But with every new installment, it's just getting a little more hokey and a little more cheesy. And that's also sort of like a new trend with horror films in the genre. We're getting to a point where every horror film is like half horror, but half self-aware comedy at the same time. I think sometimes it works. In this movie, I just wish it was a bit more eerie and terrifying when it came to death seeking you out. I just want more of that. And now everything's sort of like a comedy gag. It's like slapstick comedy, but at the end of the slapstick routine, someone's dick gets ripped off. So, but then again, hey, that's funny. I get it. So those are my thoughts on Final Destination Bloodlines. Was it worth 14 years? I don't know. It sort of feels like a movie that could have been made 15 years ago, and that's what we're getting now. I do think it's a bit more memorable maybe than the last few installments. But then again, my biggest complaint with Final Destination Bloodlines was the characters. And once again, I get that people don't watch these movies for character development, but at least give me over-the-top zany characters that stand out. And I just wanted more of that in this movie, especially with the main actress, who is the protagonist of the story, but she just sort of feels like she exists, and that's it. So, Caesar H says, I want to see it in IMAX. Which movie? Which movie? I think they're all coming out to IMAX. All right. And then for the next topic, I quickly want to cover here, and it'll be a quick one here. HBO Max. Well, I'm sorry, Max. I just call it HBO. So back in 2020, HBO changed their streaming service name to Max, and now they're reverting back to HBO Max. Why? I don't know. Maybe they finally came to the conclusion after paying some marketing firm hundreds of millions of dollars that the name Max is not a household name. No one references it. No one knows really what that is. And I forget what it's called. Everyone I know just calls it HBO still, as they should, because that had name recognition for 40 years. Why would you take that away? I'll never know. But now they're bending the knee and going back to HBO Max. But once again, I'll just call it HBO. And you know what? I can't talk a lot of shit about this, and I'll keep it real with you. 5 years ago, when they decided to change the name to Max from HBO, I did a partnership collaboration with them to promote the name, and it was probably one of the most lucrative things I've ever done on YouTube, because they were just throwing money at this name change. And part of me wanted to go, hey, I'll give you some free advice, and I won't charge you anything. Don't change the name. But they did. Also, a quick backstory that I don't think I've ever told you guys was when I worked with this company. It was a marketing firm, and they were trying to pitch some technology to include in the Max app. And what they were going to do was every time you went and looked at a movie on the streaming app, if you clicked that movie up in the right-hand corner, you would see like a box with multiple thumbnails in it, and it would be people's thoughts or quick reactions on that movie. So if you've never seen it, you could kind of watch a handful of people's reactions on what they thought about the movie. And they had me create a whole bunch of reactions for a whole bunch of movies that were going to be on the app as sort of like a test run. So I actually did that for Risky Business, Shazam, Batman, a handful of other movies. And I guess they never introduced the technology. So quick little backstory about the Max app. So what do you guys think? Do you prefer the name Max or HBO? Or do you like the new name HBO Max? Let me know down below. All right. And the last thing we're going to talk about here today as a main topic on the live show, and then we will dive into your glorious questions, I promise you. So get those questions in, and I will read every single one of them, so don't get scared. The last main topic I want to talk about is this upcoming movie called Project Hail Mary, and this is going to star Ryan Gosling. Now, the reason I'm so excited about this is my wife and I have... And I want to say I read the novel, but the truth is I listened to the audiobook. And what we've been doing every night for like the last month is I have a star projector that projects the galaxy up on the ceiling and the walls. So we lay in bed, we turn off all the lights, I light up the star projector, so I have the galaxy floating above me. It's beautiful, it's magical, it's glorious, it's everything you want. You feel like you're floating through space like Matthew McConaughey because love conquers all. And we've been listening to the audiobook of this novel, Project Hail Mary. And this is probably one of the most interesting novels I've ever read or heard in my life. It really spoke to me. And if you're a fan of smart science fiction and space and travel and saving the planet and one man on a mission to do all of these things, and keep in mind, it's also written by Andy Weir, who also wrote The Martian that Ridley Scott directed. So if you liked that movie, I would go so far as to say I think Project Hail Mary is by far, for me, far more interesting and a much bigger in scope story. And it definitely lends itself to be like an awesome science fiction blockbuster movie. And I can't really dive too deep into the plot, but I will just leave it at this. The Earth is slowly dying. And the cause of it is sort of a mystery. But once they figure that out, they then have to go into space light years away to find a solution for it. And what happens on this journey is so intriguing. And my favorite aspect about the entire story, I can't even share with you, but I will say it is awesome. And I'll leave it there. So if you don't like reading novels, or you want a really good one to read, or you want something that will blow your melon wide open, definitely check out Project Hail Mary. And the movie does come out March 2026. It's starring Ryan Gosling. And I think that's a pretty good casting choice for the main actor, Ryland Grace. I really do. The main character, Ryland Grace. So I'm really looking forward to this. It's directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. So it's probably my most anticipated movie of 2026 as of right now, or at least one of them. So definitely check that out. Just a quick little recommendation for you guys. And without further ado, let's just dive into your questions. And if you guys have any thoughts on any topics we talked about, please chime in the chat, and we will talk all about it. Okay, so the first question that we have comes from Robert Giachanta, who says, I knew Hurry Up Tomorrow was going to suck when I saw that they were eating Domino's Pizza at the after party for their movie, Weekend Can't Act. Yeah, man, I'll be honest with you. As a dude who talks about movies, I have a pretty good sixth sense on if a movie's going to suck ass. And I could have probably told you that movie was not going to be I could probably have told you it wasn't going to feel like a real movie just based on the first trailer. Now, I like me The Weeknd. I do. On my honeymoon, we listened to The Weeknd extensively for probably a day straight. I like it. Catchy music, phenomenal, great artist. But I've heard nothing but negative things about this movie from people I trust their opinions. It sort of just feels like one big 2-hour-long promo for his album. And part of me wants to watch the movie just for the sake of making a video talking about how bad it is. But then part of me thinks, life is so short. Why do that to yourself? So yeah, I've heard nothing but bad things. Sal says, let's back up here. Hang on. Let's back way up here. Okay. Sal says, hey, John, what are your thoughts on Schumacher cut of Batman Forever premiering in LA? I am genuinely curious to see that. I don't know what else would be in that movie that we didn't already see. I don't know what else they could inject in that film that would need to be there, but I would like to see it. And if for anything else, after they premiere that in LA, I mean, what do you get? Like more scenes of the Riddler dancing around? Like, what is it going to be? I don't know. But I hope at some point they do release that on HBO Max. Like, why would you not do that just to entice people to check out your streaming service? So I would love to watch it, and hopefully they release it on streaming. And does anyone know how much extra footage they are putting into the movie? Like, is it 5 minutes? Is it 10 minutes? Is it an hour of extra footage for Batman Forever? I don't know, but I would like to see it. Also, and if that's successful, maybe they can release the director's cut of Batman and Robin. Because I want more backstory on Mr. Freeze. I want more quippy one-liners from Arnold. Nice to see you. Give me that. Okay, the next one comes from Avocado Balls Johnson. Will you be seeing The Surfer? It features a sweet, drenched Nick Cage eating a dead rat and screaming, "What are you looking at?" Towards disgusting onlookers. So, quick backstory on The Surfer. I had a screening link to watch that, and I watched the first 20 minutes of the movie. And I'll be completely honest with you, I just could not get into it. I picked up on what they were going for. I understand. It's a very limited budget, sort of low budget film. And I love me some Nicolas Cage. I really do. But the entire premise, the story, where it was going, the way it started, it just did not really get me intrigued to finish the movie. And that hurt me. That hurts me to say. I wanted to like it. I was really interested in checking it out. But I just didn't finish the movie. So those are my thoughts on The Surfer. And I did not get to the eating the dead rat scene. I'm sorry. But now maybe I should go back and check it out. Sebastian says, I think the upcoming Brad Pitt movie, Heart of the Beast, might be right up your alley. I know nothing about this. What is Heart of the... Now, when it comes to Brad Pitt, my heart is stuck on F1 coming out, directed by Joseph Kosinski, who directed Top Gun Maverick. That is one of my most anticipated movies of the summer, and it looks like the ultimate dad movie. But Heart of the Beast, the Heart of the Beast movie, IMDb. Okay, let's check out this movie here. All right. Why does this never work? Why does this... Oh, here we go. Okay. Heart of the Beast, directed by David Ayer. Ooh, that's interesting. A former Army Special Forces soldier and his retired combat dog attempt to return to civilization after suffering a catastrophic accident deep in the Alaskan wilderness. Okay, survival movie. It's got J.K. Simmons in it. Directed by David Ayer. Huh? That's hit or miss. Okay, well, hey, sounds interesting. Does not have a release date. Okay, well, it looks intriguing, nevertheless. Well, thanks for letting me know about it. Sounds kind of cool. All right, the next one comes from... let's catch up here. Here we go. The next one comes from Adam Gannon, who says, Hey, been a fan for years. I'm from Liverpool. 11 years ago, I did a shot-for-shot remake. Oh my God! The heavens have opened up. Oh, take me now. Let's turn... Hey, hang on a second. Let me turn this light down. Hang on. Oh. It was like the tanning bed scene in Final Destination. Hang on, let me fix this light. There you go. Oh. Okay. I thought the rapture was happening, and I wish it was. Sorry, my LED light up there sometimes for no reason just gets brighter. And I don't know if it's some weird frequency in my office or what have you, but just randomly gets bright sometimes. Weird. So anyway, what was the question here? Oh yes, here it is. I've been a fan for 11 years. I'm from Liverpool. I did a shot-for-shot remake of the American Psycho parody of your... Okay, my brain's melting. That light literally melted my brain. 11 years ago, I did a shot-for-shot remake of your American Psycho parody. It's still on YouTube. Ha ha ha. Well, thanks for that, man. Yeah, so let me get this right. You did a parody of my parody that was a parody for a movie. I like it. Thank you. Yeah, that was a good time. If you guys have no idea what we're talking about, like 11, 12 years ago, I did an intro parody for American Psycho right here on this channel when I lived at home in my parents' basement. So watch that. Watch that sometime. It's a good time. All right. Sebastian says, excited for the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie with DiCaprio. Yes, but I can never remember the name of it. It has the most forgettable title I can never remember, and I refuse to even look it up. But if someone wants to let me know what it's called down below in the comments, let me know. Please. Yeah, the title for that, it's like, I can't even remember it. It looks good. I wouldn't say like I'm head over heels for it. I love Paul Thomas Anderson movies. I've always liked movies like Boogie Nights or There Will Be Blood. I'm intrigued to watch this. I like me some Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm definitely going to check it out, but I don't know if it's one of my most anticipated movies of the year, but I'm definitely intrigued to check it out. If you guys never seen Boogie Nights, you guys should watch Boogie Nights. I want more movies like that. I want more movies about porn stars in the 1970s. That's what I want. That's a genre we're lacking in Hollywood these days. All right. Alex says, release the Schumacher cut. All right. Let's go to the next one here. And the next one comes from Avocado Balls Johnson once again. So tired of movies having the blue Gatorade filter. So, by the way, it's not a blue Gatorade, but it is a yellow Gatorade. I like it. It looks like dehydrated urine, but it tastes delicious. I think yellow Gatorade is my favorite flavor, and I stand by that. I really do. It's called lemon lime, but I will forever call it yellow Gatorade. Delicious. Yeah, you know, that's the thing. With the new Superman trailer, it does have that very teal blue filter on it. And it kind of looks like the blue filter is cranked way up. The exposure's cranked way up. The saturation's cranked way up. And the sharpness is cranked way up. And it's definitely a choice. And I think objectively, if you looked at that, as far as like, if you were a colorist and you did color grading for a living, it would probably go against every intuition that you have to do these things. But it sort of works for a Superman movie, and it gives it this very like interesting digital look to it. So I kind of like it's different. I kind of like it just a little bit. Don't get me wrong. If it was a bit more filmic, by all means, but it's definitely a choice. All right, let's go to the next one here. And the next one comes from Immortum. You know I can't read. Here it goes. Hey, John, could you watch the trailer for the movie Clean Shaven? The correct trailer is the one posted 11 years ago. Well, Immortum, since you gave me a $20 super chat, the least I can do is watch a few seconds of this trailer, and we will do that very quickly together. And by the way, just FYI, everyone who leaves a super chat, $10 or over, you don't have to. You don't even have to leave anything. Just watch the stream, but you get a party popper. Here you go. 3, 2, 1, Immortum! There you go. Look at that smoke. Look at that. Hang on. Focus! Focus! It's done smoking. All right. I always get to pick all this shit up after the live streams. It's a good time, I promise. Oh, okay. What is this called? Clean Shaven from 11 years ago? I can only imagine what we're about to watch together. All right, man. Here it goes. Let me check this out. Clean Shaven trailer. I got one from 6 years ago. Oh, here it is. Oh, is this a short film that you made? Oh, okay, actually, no. This is not. This is... Okay, this isn't something he made. Okay, hang on. Let me... There we go. What's going on with this? Oh, probably can't do that. Copyright. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm going to skim through it. It's a minute and a half long. Guy freaking out in the car. What is this actor's name? He was in Pulp Fiction and The Mask. There's always time for one last kiss. So it's like an independent film. It's a Oh, my fan-made trailer of the 1994 independent film Clean Shaven. Okay. Well, cool, man. I've never seen this independent film. Looks cool. But I don't know what else I can say about it based on the 90-second trailer. Did you make that? Let me know. Well, thank you. Thank you for the question, man. Okay, let's go to the next one here. And the next one comes from James Doshier, who says, "Hey, John, I'm not surprised the reaction to the new Mission Impossible is getting. For me, I feel like Mission Impossible Fallout was the peak, and I feel like it should have ended after that. Then again, I did not really like the last one." Yeah, same here. I did not like Dead Reckoning. I thought it was sort of contrived and convoluted and bloated and a bit boring. And the only thing that was the highlight were the big stunts. And that's sort of what the new Mission Impossible movie is. It's all about the stunts. And I think some people might enjoy the comedy in it. But also, we're getting to a point where comedy in every movie is self-aware comedy. And I like that, I do, but it's like almost becoming too meta, that it takes you out of everything that you watch in modern-day Hollywood movies. It's like, hey, we know how dumb this is, but let's make a joke about it. It's like, yeah, but like, just let me get immersed into how dumb it is. Make me forget how dumb it is. That's the hard thing to do in a movie. Make your audience forget how obscene or absurd the plot is. That way they get immersed and forget how stupid it is. That's what true films can do. That's what real storytelling is. So I just want some more of that back in Hollywood. But anyway, it's an okay time. You know, it's middle of the road. Gorilla Beach says, "Hey, John, what silly scene, like the pants and abyss you like, the dumbest scene for me is the newspaper guy and Deep Impact while the tsunami hits." What guy is this? What does he do? Does he look up at it and go, oh? Off the top of my head, that's a great question. And that's a great question for you guys. What is the dumbest scene in a movie that really stands out to you? Let me know that down below. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a dumb scene. That's such a weird... It's such a niche-y question. Off the top of my head, I'm having trouble coming up with one. Oh, you know what? I'm going to paraphrase it, but in the movie The Rock, after Nicolas Cage is chasing Sean Connery in like a Lamborghini or a Ferrari down the streets of San Francisco, he like crashes it. It's all beat to shit. And some dude goes, "Hey man, you fucked up your Ferrari." He goes, "It's not mine." I don't know. That sort of stands out to me. I wouldn't even say it's dumb. I like it. Yeah, but that's a hard question to come up with off the top of your head, man. All right. If you guys have one, please chime in. Okay, let's go to the next one here. Social Native says Stranger Things will be the greatest season of shows in the past 10 years. I'm looking forward to it. Stranger Things and the next season of Squid Games. Yes, please. Those are probably my two most anticipated things coming out in the next year when it comes to TV shows. Social Native says, John, what year can be competition to the year for 1999? What year of movies is the best since 1999? I mean, 2014 had some good movies. 2015 had some good ones. I don't know. I'd have to think on that. The next one comes from Sebastian, who says, did you know Nick Cage is making a movie with Christian Bale? He's playing John Madden and David O. Russell is directing. I did not know that. I did not know. What is this movie? What is this called? That sounds cool. Okay. Well, thanks for the insight. David O. Russell, are you guys a fan? Let me know. Hit or miss for me. Okay. Observing the Apocalypse says, make 5 Fight UFC card of non-powered movie characters. Oh gosh, damn. Okay. Non-powered movie characters. Let's go with the Gimp from Pulp Fiction versus, I don't know. I don't know, dude. I don't know. My brain can't do that right now. Just ask me more direct questions. The what ifs I cannot do. Let's go with Nicolas Cage in any Nicolas Cage movie versus Forrest Gump. I'd like to see that fight happen in the octagon. And I'll be honest, if biting is allowed, I think Nick Cage is going to win. I do. But Forrest Gump, man, he can run. He's got that stamina. So I think it would be a good fight. All right. Andy Kumar says, Tarantino said movies are dead. He's doing plays. The man sort of has a point. Let's be honest, right? Cinema is, for all intents and purposes, it's at what you could say, this is the critical moment in cinema. People would rather watch TikTok videos of people going, did you know Superman's suit is blue? Like, people would rather watch that. That gets more traction and views than $100 million movies. And that's the reality that we live in. It's scary, it's terrifying, but I get it. And pretty soon, everything's going to feel like a streaming movie. It's just the way the world's going to go. It is. And so I understand where Tarantino's coming from. I do. All right. The next one comes from Steven, who says, hey, John. Just wanted to say hi and hope everything is going well in life. Well, hey, thanks, Steven. And everything is going, I guess, as good as you could hope it would be. Life is going pretty crazy right now, to be honest with you. I got a lot of things to do, and I'm a bit overwhelmed in life. I have a sort of a secondary career opportunity I'm trying to figure out and navigate. I'm trying to keep up with YouTube and this crazy thing called social media that's always evolving, that I just feel like I don't know if I can keep up with it at this point in my life, and I don't even know if I want to. I know I want to talk about movies. I know that. I know I like making YouTube videos. But do I like all the other social media outlets and posting videos? I'm not quite sure. I'm trying to figure it out. But life is going well. And how's your life going if you're watching right now? Share your thoughts, your feelings, and your opinions. We can get a little more deeper. We can add some more substance to this if you want. How are you guys doing? Please share your thoughts, your feelings down below. And also give the video a like. But thanks for the question, Steven. And by the way, since Steven asked a generous super chat, and by the way, I only have a few more party poppers left, but I'll do something. I'll do something special for you. Here you go, Steven. 3, 2, 1. To Steven! There you go. Hope you enjoyed your party popper, Steven. I know I did. Look at that smoke. Whew. Yeah. All right. Let's go to the next one here. So thank you, Steven. The next one comes from Jacob Juice. Can I call you Juicy or Juice? Which one is it? Anyway, Jacob says, hey, John. Hope you remember me. I was a Patreon member of your channel for a while. I loved your thoughts on all kinds of stuff. I just wanted to say congrats on the marriage. I love everything. I love that everything is going well for you. You deserve it so much. Well, Jacob, damn, you're such a nice guy. Thank you so much, Jacob. And I do remember you from Patreon, but man, it's been so long since Patreon. Didn't you join the live stream once, right? Or is that a different Jacob? I think that was you, wasn't it? Okay, we did a special live stream on Patreon once. I thought you joined it. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm wrong. But either way, man, thank you so much, Jacob. And Jacob also gets a party popper. Let me back up for this party popper. Let me back way up for this. Here, get the fuck out of the way, my chair. Okay, you guys ready for the party popper? 1, 2, 3, pop. Oh, that was sort of a duddy party popper. All right. I'm going to sit back down in shame now. Okay. Well, thanks, Jacob. Let's go to the next one. Freddie says, lost my dog Monday. First time losing a pet. It's heartbreaking. If you've been through this, what helped? Big fan, much love. Holy shit, man. Wow, we went from party poppers to that? Fuck, I'm depressed now. Shit. Well, dude, that sucks, man. How old was your dog? Was it an old dog? Did it have a long, fulfilling life where you played fetch with it, took it on walks, cuddled with the dog? He laid by your feet as you watched movies? Let me know. Yeah, I had a dog when I was younger we had a dog for probably like 15 years, and he was very old by the time he died. In dog years, I think he died when he was 18. So in dog years, that's like 500 or something. Yeah, I get it. My friend, they have a cat that they were very attached to that died of cancer. So yeah, man, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that, man. But I guess just remember the good times, and then eventually, get another dog and start some new memories while remembering the old one along the way, But I'm sorry to hear that. All right. Wade's Movie World says, John, I recently rewatched Apollo 13. It's a damn good movie, and I have a new appreciation for it. It is a beautifully executed film, and it has something for everyone. It's awesome that it is also a true story. Thoughts? Yeah, I've always liked Apollo 13 quite a bit. I love survival movies. That's like one of my favorite genres, and nothing puts me on the edge of my seat more than a survival flick. And that was probably one of the best Ron Howard movies he's ever directed. That and like Backlash. But yeah, man, Apollo 13 had it all. It had Gary Sinise, it had Tom Hanks, Kevin Bacon, and my favorite thing about Apollo 13 is when the engineers at NASA are trying to come up with a breathing apparatus to get the carbon monoxide out of the air on the ship. It's sort of like a filter that they have to make of random shit that they have on the spacecraft. I like that sequence. And plus, the way that they filmed that movie was they filmed it in basically 0G. There's a plane that NASA has that goes up and goes straight down where it puts you in 0G. So you feel like you're floating in space, and they built sets in this plane to make it look like they were in a 0G environment. So just little things like that. Nowadays, they would never do that. The amount of money and time and liability that would come with actually producing something like that would be hundreds of millions of dollars. Which reminds me, by the way, I need to include this in my movie review of Mission Impossible 8, but do you guys remember when the rumor was Tom Cruise was going to go to space at some point in this movie? I swear that was a thing that was going to happen, and it just never did. And he does not go to space in this newest movie. But I do feel like there was maybe one sequence where he could have, and it would have maybe sort of made sense. I think like there's something there that could have made sense. I think you could have interjected it into the movie. Anyway, getting off topic. But yeah, I like Apollo 13, man, quite a bit. James Doshier says, I saw Thunderbolts a couple weeks ago, and I thought it was okay, but a very run-of-the-mill Marvel movie. I don't think it's amazing as the internet is making it out to be. I'm right there with you. I think it's a fine comic book movie. I think it's an entertaining time to go watch and eat some popcorn and check it out. But fundamentally and objectively speaking, as a movie, and I think it's only fair to compare this to all of the other Marvel movies, I think it lands somewhere in the middle of the MCU. I do. And it's not to say that I don't like the characters. I do. I just wish they were doing more in the movie and there was a second act in the film. Because when you really break down what happens, not a lot happens in that movie. Like, and if you want to talk about the character development, yeah, there's some good stuff in there. I love anti-heroes. I think flawed characters are always the most interesting characters. But really, a lot of their trauma that they're dealing with is just expanding on past trauma that we've already seen in past projects of all of these characters that they sort of already touched on this, but now they expand on it a bit more in Thunderbolts. Like Yelena, for example. we kind of dealt with her past trauma in Black Widow a little bit, but they expand on it more. She's still dealing with it and coping with it. And all of those things are great, but then you're missing a second act, and then the climax of the movie happens. They punch the bad guy for a couple minutes. They hug, and I'm okay with them hugging. That it made sense. And I'm I'm not even trying to be sarcastic when I say that. I think it did make sense, but then it's just over, and it's so non-consequential that you sort of feel like, oh, okay, well, did that movie even really need to happen? It just feels like such a small story, and it feels sort of like 2/3 of a movie to me. I'm not saying the 2/3 of the movie that we got was bad. I'm just saying, in the grand scheme of MCU films, overall, objectively speaking, if you look at the movie, I don't feel like it's that strong of a movie. And the truth be told is it's a fine stepping stone into the next thing, maybe setting up something bigger, but that's what it feels like. It feels like a stepping stone. And I always say this. I say this. The internet is very hyperbolic. What happens today is now the best thing ever that's ever existed, because what happened yesterday doesn't even exist in the mentality of most people. So keep that in mind. When everyone says this is the best MCU movie ever, well, they're going to say that exact same thing about the next MCU movie as well, and then the next one. And then you go, well, wasn't that movie that you watched 2 MCU movies ago like the best movie you've ever seen? And they go, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So fine movie, but a bit overrated, maybe. But I just think I think the psychology here, when you look at it, is a lot of the past MCU movies over the last couple of years have just been shit. They've been bloated piles of garbage. And I'm talking about the cosmic verse of things. I'm not talking about, there's been, like, don't get me wrong, I like Spider-Man No Way Home or Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Those are good movies. But a lot of the later MCU movies have been so bad that anything that's slightly competently well made and has some actual characters in it that you can latch onto, it's going to get praised. That's how it works, right? All right, let's go to the next one here. Whew, I'm tired. I'm so tired. All right. Skylar Wheelock says, are you looking forward to Joseph Kosinski's Miami Vice, potentially starring Glenn Powell and Michael B. Jordan? Yes, I am looking forward to that, and anything that Joseph Kosinski puts out, I will look forward to. But I will say that's sort of interesting. I could see both of them being in the movie. It does sort of make sense for like a new age Miami Vice. Did you ever watch Michael Mann's Miami Vice? So forgettable. I don't know if Miami Vice has the IP that maybe it needs to be like this $90 million action movie. And maybe it'll be awesome. I'm hoping it is. And if there's any director right now I would trust to make a big epic blockbuster action movie, it's definitely Joseph Kosinski, who directed Top Gun Maverick, Tron Legacy, directing F1 starring Brad Pitt. So it sounds cool, but I just don't know if I necessarily need to see a Miami Vice movie, right? Like, if they're going to put that much time and money into something and that much talent, I wouldn't mind seeing something else. Okay, the next one comes from Avocado Balls Johnson, who says, Batman Begins turns 20 in a month. To me, it's the best in the series, but the first half of the movie is much better than the second half. Do you remember the night that you saw it in theaters, John? I do remember that dark, gloomy, cold night. Actually, it was a bright, beautiful summer day. But I do vaguely remember seeing it. I went with a buddy of mine from high school, and I remember just loving everything about it. The movie truly spoke to me, and I've said this once, I'll say it again. That was sort of one of those movies that made me realize why I like movies so much. And that was sort of one of those seeds that got planted in my brain to later want to talk about movies on YouTube. So that's what I remember about seeing it in the theater. But I still vividly remember seeing the teaser trailer for Batman Begins for the first time in the trailer. And it's where they're showing the mountaintops and he's walking. And you don't even know it's a Batman movie until he opens the cabinet with a cowl in it. And I was like, whoa, what the hell is this? I was not expecting this to be a Batman movie based on the tone. So That's what I remember about it. And fun little side story. I was actually eating breakfast today, and I didn't feel like spending an hour and a half looking for a movie to watch, so I just clicked on The Dark Knight Rises. And I got an hour into the movie, and I have never had so many complaints and nitpicks with it. It was like I was watching it with completely different eyeballs today. And I'm not going to crap on The Dark Knight Rises. I'm not. I still will defend it until the day my bat nips go limp, okay? But, or maybe I should have said soft. But it's such a choppy movie where the narrative is so forced into the next thing. It's like, why does Alfred know so much about Bane being in prison? And then he has this entire backstory about him. And then like the magic knee brace that Bruce Wayne puts on where he kicks the brick wall down in the Batcave. I'm like, that would hurt your foot, man. Just little things like that. And then like you have Joseph, Gordon-Levitt's character who grew up as an orphan, and then he just knew exactly the drainage pipe to go find Commissioner Gordon where he was going to wash out at exactly the right moment. I just find all this, it's like so much plot convenience in that movie. But I still like it. I still love it. All right. Let's go to the next one here. And the next one comes from Tristan Giblin, who says, John, that scene in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood where Brad Pitt stomps Austin Butler's face in is so satisfying. Oh, yeah. Oh, just smashing it. Well, he's beating it in with a... He's beating it in with a can of dog food or something that he found on the mantle, right? Right? He's beating a can of dog food. He beats his face in. Oh, yeah. It's beautiful. I love every second of it. I could slow it down and watch it frame by frame every day when I wake up. Take that, Austin Butler. Oh, you pretentious asshole. Yeah, I like it. Okay, let's go to the next one here. The next one comes from Sebastian, who says, rewatched Collateral recently. It made me kind of wish Tom Cruise made a franchise where he plays that kind of ice-cold hitman. I could totally eat that up. Yeah, I think Tom Cruise comes across like a better villain to me than he does a hero. And I don't want to get too weird with you guys, but I read people very, very, very well. And I know a sociopath when I meet one. And Tom Cruise is a very self-aware, high-functioning sociopath narcissist. There's a reason that in every Tom Cruise movie, you see him running in every film. Because I truly think this, like, to him, this is beautiful. Like, look at me run. I'm so beautiful. Watch this. And I do like it. I do. But I feel like that's the logic behind it. I know that sounds crazy. If anyone else is picking up what I'm putting down, please let me know down below. But anytime I've ever seen Tom Cruise actually do a real interview where he's not answering, like, talking about some surface level thing for an upcoming movie, the dude comes across a bit sociopathic. You can just see it in his eyes. Also, can I talk about one other thing that happens in Mission Impossible 8 that is going to be, you guys are going to think I'm weird for noticing this, but I notice things like this. This is why I'm so cynical, but hear me out for a second. In Mission Impossible 8, because the AI entity is confusing and tricking everyone with a psychological warfare, it's up to Ethan Hunt to convince everyone that he is telling the truth and they have to trust him or else everything is going to explode and everyone's going to die. So they really have to put a lot of faith in Ethan Hunt, right? Because it's like, hey, give this guy the remote that could blow up the world, but in his hands, it'll be safe. It's sort of like that. And he has the power of convincibility in Mission Impossible 8, where you can see it in his eyes, and it's so Tom Cruisey, where he's like convincing people. He's like, you have to believe me with what I'm saying right now, or else everyone's going to die. This is why you have to do it. it was almost weird. It was like the weirdest form of manipulation I've ever seen on the big screen. But I could see that he really believed what he was saying. So does that make him a good actor for convincibility? Absolutely. But it's just a weird little thing I noticed about Tom Cruise, and I always notice it in his interviews too. So anyway, there's that. Cosborn says, John, what's for dinner? You know what? I have not gotten that far yet. Actually, I went to Culver's last night. If you've never been to the fast food restaurant Culver's, highly recommend it. Because it's not your typical greasy slop that you get through fast food. No. They treat you with respect. You go through, you order the food, it's made fresh to order. So after you order it, they say, okay, pull up over there and put a sticker on your side view mirror. And you might wait 5 or 10 minutes for your food, but it's worth it because you know they just made it. It wasn't sitting under some heat lamp for the past hour with bugs landing on it. So yeah, I have a Culver's hamburger in the fridge I'm going to eat probably after this live show. Let's go to the next one here. But also, I would like to see Tom Cruise play a villain as well. Sal says, what are your thoughts on Christopher Nolan shooting The Odyssey entirely in IMAX 1570 film? Yes, please give it to me now. The fact that the entire film, the entire runtime of Odyssey will be IMAX shots. Okay, I'm ready for it. And for such a long time, that was such a technical sort of problematic thing to do for films because IMAX cameras, they're so loud that it's hard to film dialogue around them. So I think what they did is they developed a system where you have the camera and you have the lens, and then they actually have the film reel somewhere else where it's away from the scene so you don't hear it. I think that's what they came up with. Anyway, listen, you're talking to a dude who loves film. I'm a fanatic of it. And I cannot wait. So yes, the Odyssey being shot in IMAX. It's little things like that still give you hope for cinema to survive. So what do you guys think about that? Excited to see the Odyssey entirely in IMAX? I know I am. Skylar Wheelock says, the 10-year anniversary of Mad Max Fury Road was yesterday. Does the film still hold up for you a decade later? You know, I've rewatched that movie so many times. I have probably rewatched that movie, I would say 80 times. And that's not even being hyperbolic. I think I have. Yeah, I think it does. I think it's better than the sequel that we got, which I liked, but it just felt very digital, the sequel, didn't it? It just felt like, oh man, it just feels like everyone's standing in front of a green screen. But Fury Road, I think that was awesome. That's one of those action movies that I appreciated it the more and more I watched it. And once that thing hit 4K, every time I was sort of having a bad day or I wanted something to cheer me up or something bright and vivid and action packed that just had awesome stunts and characters that I liked, and I wanted to go on this journey in this post-apocalyptic wasteland, that was the kind of stuff I would pop on when I was feeling a little bit gloomy inside. So yeah, I think Mad Max Fury Road still holds up. I do. I think, if anything, movies, especially in the action genre, should strive to even be what that movie was. It's like, yeah, you're blending CG effects, but you're blending practicality with the cinematic tone that just works. So yeah, I still think it holds up. Do you guys still think Fury Road holds up or not? And the fact that that's 10 years old, that's crazy. Where is the time going? All right, the next one comes from Gilia. Or sorry, I always say Gilia Beach, but it's Gorilla Beach. I know. Is the momentum for the sequel to The Batman gone? Well, I've heard mixed things. I've heard that it might not be happening. I've heard that a script is coming. I've heard that Matt Reeves is doing the movie. I've heard that he's not doing the movie. I've heard that he's going through a midlife crisis after a very agonize-inducing divorce. So I don't know. I don't have any inside scoops to share with you. I hope it's happening, but I think it's also, if it is going to happen, it's been pushed back till 2027 at this point. And the question is, that's going to be like 7 years after the Batman. And at that point, like, yeah, I want to see it, but damn, dude, like, what are we doing? Like, if you can't make the movie happen, just don't do it. I don't know. You know, maybe if he doesn't have the time or the energy to give to it, maybe work side by side with somebody who does. So I don't know if the Batman 2 is happening. I want it to happen. I do. But I don't know. Does anyone know? Has it been confirmed anywhere? Chris Solomu says, how does he convince people? Is it experience or charm? It's a little bit of all those things. It's like how sociopaths convince people. They just talk very direct and firm with you and really believe in what they're saying. And they look at you like if you don't know what they're talking about, you're utterly insane. It's the power of convincibility. You know, it's a thing. It's that cold gaze in their eyes where you just know behind those eyes there's not really a soul lurking. The next one comes from James Dozier, who says, have you seen the movie Leaving Las Vegas? Absolutely, man. With Tom Cruise and Elizabeth Shue, man, that has one of the most intense scenes ever, where Elizabeth Shue is sort of taken advantage of in a hotel room floor by a group of frat boys. Pretty intense movie and fun story. I don't know if it's a fun story, but the first time I ever watched Leaving Las Vegas was on Showtime in 1997 at my grandparents' house. That's the kind of movies I was watching as a child. So that, I hope that explains who I am. But Leaving Las Vegas is great. Immortum says, and man, Immortum, you're killing it, man. So thank you so much. Immortum says, thanks for reaching to the trailer. Been watching since I was 12. I'm now 22. Just watched the film I just watched the film 8mm last night. Do you think it's overrated or underrated? Oh man. Okay. Well, Immortum, thank you once again, man. And the film 8mm is, I think, a truly underrated movie that everyone should watch once. If you want to watch a really, really, really gritty, dark, sinister Nicolas Cage movie that touches on a very dark, damp, disgusting topic, and I'm talking about snuff films, definitely watch it. Great supporting cast. You have Joaquin Phoenix in the movie. But most importantly, let me sell you on the movie 8mm if you're not sold already. There's an antagonist in this film who is an actor in very dark, brutal films, and his name is The Machine. And The Machine, when he stars in these dark films that you could probably only find on the darkest crevices of the internet, he wears a leather mask. And Nicolas Cage's character plays a private investigator trying to track down if this videotape that was found in a rich man's safe or vault is legit. It's a great movie. And so anyway, Immortum, thank you for the super chat. You get a party popper. Here we go. Are you guys ready for it? 3, 2, 1. Ah, it ripped. The string ripped. That sucked. I got a dud. And I'm all out of party poppers. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man, but thank you for the question. I got to get more party poppers. But thanks for the question, man. Skylar Wheelock says, The Patriot has its 25th anniversary next month. Could you reflect on it? I think Mel Gibson's character is a great role model for men. Yeah, you know what? I can agree with that. I think in The Patriot, Mel Gibson's father character that he plays, I think he's firm but fair. I think he's a good father in that movie. So I get it. Mel Gibson in The Patriot is a man. Okay, that is a man. When I watch him, that is a man I want to be. Okay, I even want the little ponytail and haircut. So yeah, as far as the movie The Patriot goes, That is one of my favorite movies of all time. I don't think a lot of people would probably say that, but I've rewatched that movie. I watch it once every couple of years, and I love a time period movie based on history. And it's a little skewed. The history is a little skewed at times, but the big picture is still somewhat accurate. But you got Heath Ledger, who plays Mel Gibson's son in the film. Brutal, awesome movie. And also, what is the, gosh, I'm trying to, hang on. Yeah, it's definitely Roland Emmerich's best movie, by far. So if you've never seen The Patriot, please watch it. I cannot recommend it enough, and especially with 4th of July coming up, definitely check out the Patriot here. But I mean, look at that haircut, man. Look at that. That is a man. That is a man. Pick up your muzzles and go out there and do something about it. But yeah, man, The Patriot's phenomenal. So do I want to reflect on it? I almost want to review it, to be honest with you. I almost want to review that at some point. Maybe I'll do like a short review or something. But it's a long movie, but it's a damn good journey. And by the end of it, if you don't feel fulfilled, then there's something wrong with you. Do you guys like The Patriot? Let me know down below. James Dosher says, Nick Cage won an Oscar for Leaving Las Vegas. Yeah, as he should. All right. The next one comes from Clark Ingleton, who says, thoughts on Scorsese's Cape Fear with De Niro. Counselor. Hey, counselor. Oh, hey, counselor. I liked it. I've only seen the movie maybe once or twice. I've seen it twice. And it's a remake of a 1950s movie. I love the ferry boat sequence, or the boat sequence at the end of the movie. I think that's really cool. Also, the movie stars Nick Nolte. Hey, Tommy, what are you doing over there? That's my shitty Nick Nolte impression. But Cape Fear is great. I should probably go back and revisit it. It's been such a long time. But more or less, it's about a dude who stalks a lawyer. I mean, that's more or less the plot of the movie. Skylar Wheelock says, I wasn't initially sure how Christopher Nolan would top Oppenheimer, but shooting the Odyssey entirely in IMAX film is a great way to do it. This is going to be an unprecedented cinematic event and a historical moment for narrative film. Yeah, you know what? I hope we get more movies that capitalize on IMAX and shooting on film. And the fact is, every time we get one of these big movies that is shot on film that uses practical effects, it typically does very well at the box office. And that just goes to show you that audiences still want that. They want that immersive factor. They want to see something somewhat real and believable. Just because it's better. It's better. It's a reason to see it. It's a reason to pay your hard-earned money, put pants on, go to the theater and watch this shit up on the big screen and not watch it at home. It deserves your time and your attention. So absolutely. I hope Oppenheimer makes $1 billion. But also when it comes to time period movies, like Sword and Sandals movies, we're sort of at a time where like that genre's like sort of going extinct because general audiences don't necessarily want to see that. And I'm not one of them. I want to see more of it, but I'm hoping it does very well. Maybe they'll give it a resurgence to the genre. Kung Fu Hot Dog says, hey, John, how many old movies do you watch in a week? It really depends. You know, sometimes I would say maybe one, but right now I go see every new movie that comes out, more or less. I go to screenings. I'm trying to make more videos. And also I still have all of those stupid life obligations we all have as people. And also I spend an entire day sometimes mowing the grass. So, maybe one. Typically what my wife and I do is we might start like a movie, an older movie that I've seen or she hasn't seen. For example, a couple months ago, we watched Uncle Buck, but it took probably like three or four viewings to complete the movie because we would watch it every time we ate. Like if we ate breakfast on the weekend, we would watch like 40 minutes of Uncle Buck, and then we watch another 40 minutes of Uncle Buck. And that was sort of like our go-to thing to watch. And she had never seen Uncle Buck. I have not watched the movie in 20 years, and it's so good. I forgot how good John Candy truly was. And I miss simple comedy movies like Uncle Buck. And plus you have young Macaulay... oh my God. Macaulay Culkin. Yes. You have a young Macaulay Culkin in the movie, which was the inspiration for him being Kevin McAllister in Home Alone, because there's that entire sequence in Uncle Buck where he answers the door through the mail slot, which was the inspiration behind Home Alone. So just little things like that. So typically maybe one older movie a week I watch. But then again, sometimes we just have a movie night at home where we watch a movie that I haven't seen or she hasn't seen. So it really depends. Depends on the mood and the time. And I'll keep it real with you. Some weeks when there's not a new movie coming out at the theater, I look forward to that week because that gives me some downtime where I don't have to go watch a new movie. I can stay at home and watch whatever I want. And I like that. James Dosher says, The Patriot and Braveheart, I think, are Mel Gibson's best performances. Absolutely. And I think you could almost say Braveheart might be the better movie, but I like The Patriot more. But it's basically the same movie. It's all about freedom and preserving your rights. Okay, Gilliam, or I always saw Gorilla Beach says, put capital letters at the beginning of these two words. Judge Dredd is the perfect rainy day movie. Yeah, both of them, man. The Stallone one or the Carl Urban one. I'll take either. The next one comes from Chris Salomu, who has been a member for 50 months. Can I get 2 party poppers? Man, I'm all party poppered out, man. I think I'm out of them. I ran out of them, finally. I need to buy some more. So I will get more party poppers before the next live show. I promise you. I'll give you a party popper. Clark Ingleton says, what's a movie you haven't seen that you most want to see? For me, it's the 1960s Cape Fear, because I love the De Niro remake. What movies do you need to see? Man, what movies do I need to see? There's some Alfred Hitchcock movies. As a dude who talks about movies, I'm like, I should probably go back and watch these. There's a couple of Alfred Hitchcock movies I want to go check out. I'm sure there's a ton of 1980s, 70s movies maybe I should revisit at some point or check out for the first time. I'm trying to think of like something I need to watch that I haven't. Oh, gosh. I'm trying to think. I know I had a list at one point of movies I needed to watch. Actually, I think that list is on my wife's phone because I don't know how to use technology. But that's a great question. Which movie do you know that I have not seen or assume I haven't seen that I should watch? Please let me know that in the chat right now. Give me some movies that I should watch that I've never seen. I'm sure there's probably some like more South Korean movies I should check out that are crazy and bizarre and slightly fucked up, but I don't know. I'd have to put some soul-searching thought into that. All right. Ty Guy says, John, I know a film John, I know a film with Ben Foster you haven't seen. It stars him. Okay, what movie is it? What movie is it? The Driver. Yes, Night King 01. The Driver is the movie I need to see. Also, the other Mel Gibson movie that I need to watch where it takes place on a boat. Tristan Gilblin says, Once Upon a Time in America. I've seen Once Upon a Time in America. I've seen that movie. I've seen it once. I don't know if I can rewatch it again, but I have seen it once. And I know this is not maybe what I should focus on when I talk about it, but I just remember the beginning of the movie. There's a phone that rings for like 10 fucking minutes. And I was like, someone answer that phone. Yeah, I've never seen True Grit. Last Emperor, I've never seen. I've seen the Barbie movie. Look Up Survivor, Ben Foster. Oh, is that the Holocaust movie I think I was gonna start that one day. Does he box in the movie maybe too? I think I watched part of that one day. Hurry up tomorrow for the fun of it. You know, I don't know if I can bring myself to watch it. I really don't know. I'd rather just listen to The Weeknd and be done with it. All right. Schindler's List. I've seen Schindler's List. The Wailing from South Korea is crazy. Okay. I have never seen it. East of Eden. I've never seen. Have you seen The Void? I saw The Void in Thunderbolts. Oh, The Void. Yeah. No, I don't think I have seen it. I have not seen The Void. I have not seen The Void. Watch Salo? Okay. Chris Salamu says you need to visit Europe and show us the different theaters over there. Where do you plan on going for your honeymoon trip? I've been to Europe. I've been to the movie theaters in Europe. I went to Zurich, Switzerland, and their movie theaters are so interesting to me. They're not anything like American theaters. Like, sure, you have an auditorium, you have a big screen, you have some seats, but like, they're so condensed. For example, like the lobby is much smaller. The concession stand is much smaller. Like you get a little bag of popcorn. Here's a little tiny can of soda, or you can buy a beer. They have a couple snack options to pick from, but it's not this like crazy over the top big popcorn machine and like all this snacks and a 10-gallon bucket of soda. No. And also the other thing about the movie theaters in Zurich were the bathrooms were always like in the basement. Like you always had to walk down a flight of stairs into a basement to take a pee. It was really interesting. So Alex says, have you seen Shelby Oaks? No, I have not. But I'll review it when I do, Alex. All right. Horror by Jordy says, have you seen How to Rob a Bank yet? Real life Bodie. I have not. I have not seen How to Rob a Bank yet. It's got a 6.6 on IMDb. It's got a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Came out last year. I have not watched. It's on Netflix. Did you guys like the movie How to Rob a Bank? I'll check it out. I have not watched it yet. It has Nick. It looks like Nick Stahl's in the movie. Yeah, Nick Stahl's in the movie. Or is that Nick Stahl? Or this is a different movie called How to Rob a Bank. What the fuck what is this one? There's another movie called How to Rob a Bank. It's on DVD starring Nick Stahl. Okay. That is not the movie we're talking about here, is it? Yeah, like look at this. It's $13, the DVD, How to Rob a Bank. Huh. Okay. All right. But this is the one we're talking about here. Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out. Is it good? Did you guys like it? How to Rob a Bank? Any good? Let me know. Okay, let's go to the next one here. And the next one comes from Skylar Wheelock, who says, the 40th anniversary of Back to the Future is in a few weeks. Do you remember the first time you watched it? Man, that's another movie I'd like to do a review on. It just, I don't have the time. I hate it. See, that's a movie I would like to watch in my backyard on my projector. I just shot a movie night video. Spoilers, it's sort of about Avengers Endgame, but really I'm reviewing a projector in the movie night. But anyway, I would like to watch Back to the Future in my backyard. I'll call it watching Back to the Future in my backyard. That's what I'll call the video. What was the question though? Oh, do I remember the first time I watched Back to the Future? Yeah, so here's the thing. I remember watching Back to the Future at a young age on like TV a couple of times, but I couldn't really remember the movie. And then in 1995, and this is how weird I am, I remember dumb shit like this. In 1995, when we moved to Georgia, my mom and I went to a library and we got library cards because this was like an awesome library. It was huge, all kinds of cool stuff. And they had an extensive movie collection in this library. And keep in mind, this is like a video rental store where it's free. Just sign up for a library card, you're good to go. And we went there all the time, every week. And I remember coming across the cover for Back to the Future when I had to have been like 8 or 9 years old. And I had never really watched the entire movie. So I remember renting Back to the Future 1 on VHS from the library, came home to watch it, and it had all these tracking issues. Like every 5 seconds, the movie would fuck up. And it drove me crazy. And then finally, I went back to the library, got another copy of it, watched it, and loved it. And then I went back again and got Back to the Future 2 and 3 and watched the entire trilogy. And for some odd reason, I didn't know that there was a Back to the Future Part 3 when I was younger. Like, I sort of knew there was a Part 2, but I did not know 3 existed. Like, no one I knew ever talked about Back to the Future 3. Weird, I know. But this is before the internet, right? You only knew what your friends knew. And maybe my friends didn't know Back to the Future existed. So anyway, that's the first time I watched Back to the Future. So there you go. You just unlocked a core memory. All right, the next one comes from Walter Sanders, who has just subscribed. Well, thanks, Walter. Thanks, man. Rex says, any long-term relationship advice you have for us? Long-term relationship advice. You know what? I think long-term relationships will easily work if you just find the right person. The ones that you have to force and always like find a solution and fix it and try really hard, maybe, just maybe, that was not the right person for you. And you're forcing like a square peg in a round hole or whatever. So my advice is just find somebody that you connect to. And I think communication is truly the key. If you find someone who can pick up what you're putting down and vice versa, and you can have an open line of communication where you can understand each other to a certain degree, I think that is the key to success long term. But then again, some people get married and they don't even know each other after 25 years. And there's that. So I don't know. Kung Fu Hot Dog says, Jay Bout Lucky No Slevin Never Seen It Thoughts. What? Lucky Slevin? Lucky number 7? With Christopher Walken? What are we talking about, man? Oh, lucky number 7? Lucky number 7? What is this? Or I'm thinking of 7 heads in a double bag. I'm sorry. This is Josh Hartnett, Bruce Willis, Ben Kingsley. Came out in 2006. This was like one of the last Josh Hartnett movies before he disappeared from Hollywood. You know what? I don't think I've ever watched this. I've never watched this. Yeah, I've never watched this movie. Have you guys seen it? Lucky number 7? Let me know if you liked it. It's rated R. It's 2 hours long. A case of mistaken identity puts a man named Slevin, Josh Hartnett, in the middle of a war between two rival New York crime lords. Sounds kind of cool. Well, we're at a Josh Hartnett renaissance right now, so maybe I could go back and revisit this. Let me know. Did you like it? Social Native says Jaws turns 50. Jaws turns 50 years old. Does it still hold up? Yes. Jaws could turn 250 and it will still hold up as a piece of cinematic perfection, okay? And by the way, I mentioned this on a few live streams ago. I bought the Jaws popcorn bucket. I cannot wait to get it and eat popcorn out of it when I watch the movie again. And also, that would be another good movie to watch in my backyard. That and Jurassic Park. I want to watch those on my inflatable projector screen in my backyard. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I'll show you. Hang on, here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is my backyard. This is my inflatable projector screen. We had a movie night last weekend, and it's 20 feet. Here's the projector I'm going to do a quick review on very soon, so look out for that video. But anyway, yeah, we put some reclining outdoor chairs there and hang out and watch movies. It's an awesome time. Cannot recommend it enough. Is it sort of a pain in the ass to set up? Yeah, a little bit, but nevertheless. Did you guys see that? Could you guys see that? Hang on. Where is the thingy-majigger? I don't know. Could you guys see that when I pulled that up on Twitter? Let me know. I really hate the way this is working right now. There we go. Yeah, you guys can see it there. So anyway, that's my backyard. That's my projector screen. Someone, Omega Bread says, can you watch Jaws in an inflatable pool? I did have that idea. I mentioned that. And part of me does want to do that. I think that would, but after being in a body of water for 2 hours watching a movie, I'm going to get a little soggy and cold, if you know what I mean. And that might be slightly uncomfortable. But yeah, maybe I could get on a floaty in it or something. I wish I had a pool in my backyard. I do. But yeah, man, that's a fun time to watch movies in the backyard. But the thing is, when you watch movies in your backyard, everything has to be perfect. Like the weather, the wind, my neighbor's dog can't be outside barking. Like everything has to culminate into the perfect storm without having a storm so I can watch a movie outside. And keep in mind, then in the summertime, you get mosquitoes. So then you got to put out all these like mosquito torches to get them. So it's just like, it's such a hassle, but sometimes the hassle's worth the reward, you know? John living the life. Man, I'll be honest with you. My backyard, that 20-foot inflatable screen only costs like $100 or $120. And if you buy, and by the way, don't buy a projector yet. If you're going to buy a projector, buy the one I'm about to promote because it's like $250. And for a $250 projector, I was like, okay, how good is this thing going to look, right? Especially outside on a 20-foot screen. And I was really impressed. I genuinely was impressed by this projector. So look out for that. But yeah, that entire setup, if with the projector and the screen, like $350, and you're good to go for a movie night, man. That's all you need. I mean, if you already have chairs in a backyard and some grass, you got everything else you need. You might have to get a blanket. I don't know, but it's really not like that elaborate of a setup. But the thing is, I was telling my wife when we set all this up, I said, hey, when I was a kid, if I could have had this, I would have thought we were millionaires. Like but now it's like you can buy all this shit for a couple $100. We are it's a weird time to be alive, isn't it? I don't know. All right, let's go to the next one here. The next one comes from Skylar Wheelock, who says, name the most attractive movie female villain you've ever seen. I'm picking Rose, the Hat in Dr. Sleep. I don't know. Amber Heard in real life seems sort of like a villainous chick. You know what? I'm going to go with, I like Sharon Stone in Basic Instinct. I like Sharon Stone in the movie Casino. And I am my eyeball itches, sorry. And hang on. Let's pull up some visuals here, because visuals are what we're all about. And I like Sharon Stone in Total Recall, because look at that. Look at all that. That's Sharon Stone right there in Total Recall, man. Like, that's Sharon Stone in Total Recall. So anyway, we'll go with that. Is that good enough? Also, you know, if I had to pick one, I like Michelle Pfeiffer in Batman Returns when she puts the bird in her mouth for some reason. I know it sounds not normal. That's not normal at all, but that's a cool scene as well. All right, let's go to the next one here before it gets too weird. And the next one is coming from Avocado Balls Johnson. Well, it just got weird again. Here it goes. You should watch the original Bad Lieutenant with Harvey Keitel. The best scene is where he pulls those girls over for having a busted tail light, but decides to let them go with a warning. Yeah, I can only assume what he does. And I have seen Bad Lieutenant Protocol of New Orleans quite a few times with Nicolas Cage. And that was one of the most hilarious theater experiences I've ever had in my entire life. But I've never watched the Harvey Keitel one. And I think I had it on DVD for a long time, but never watched it. And I knew it was going to be crazy and fucked up, but I never watched it. So one of these days, I will definitely get around to watching it. What's the matter? Your father not go to enough school plays? I love it. Night King 01 says, is it bad that when I saw the trailer for The Final Reckoning, when I saw Tom Cruise put on that VR helmet, all I thought was the Lawnmower Man? Yeah, and that's sort of the vibe you get with the visuals of the AI. It's like Lawnmower Man. You're right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's something about whenever there's technology in a movie and they have to show like the technology talking, it's always some shitty graphic that it looks like it would exist in a movie from 1994. I don't know why that is. The next one comes from Horror by Jordy, please forgive me, who says, if you like Point Break, check it out. It's a doco about a bank robber who lived in a tree fort and wore prosthetics on his face to hide his identity. That sounds great. That sounds phenomenal. Okay, I'll check it out, man. You sort of sold me on it. I'm going to check it out. I'll add it to the list of 75 movies. But at one point, I promise you, I will get around to it. Gorilla Beach says, John, do your neighbors complain when you watch a movie outside? No, I have sort of a big yard, and then my neighbors' houses aren't necessarily super close. But the thing is, I have movie nights on the weekend, so like a Friday or a Saturday, and we'll probably start around 9 o'clock and it's over by 11. So it's no different than just having like a cookout in your backyard or something throughout the day. And plus, the truth is, the sound from the sound that comes from the projector outside of my backyard, you can't really hear it all that much. So they've never complained. And I've never complained about my dog's or my neighbor's dog that just barks all night and all day that they never hear and let in the house, even though he barks at everyone that walks down the street. So, hey, if I don't complain, they can't complain either. And maybe I'll watch 8mm and have a special movie night outside. And then the cops show up. Laughing Stock Media says, great performance from Keitel. Yeah, man, Harvey Keitel is a damn great actor. I loved him as the Wolf in Pulp Fiction. Laughing Stock Media also says a top from GoldenEye. And a top from GoldenEye? Oh, yeah, for sure, yes. Oh, I have a buddy who was obsessed with her from GoldenEye. And if you don't know who we're talking about this right here. Right there from GoldenEye. Yeah, just evil, villainous, seductiveness. Oh, love it. All right, so the next one's coming from Skylar Wheelock once again, who says, what is the single worst movie you sat through hoping it would be better but didn't when you were a young man? When I was young, what's a movie that I wanted it to be better that didn't quite get there? Ooh, that's a good question. How young are we talking? Because, like, if I can go back to high school, I remember The Matrix 2 was a really big disappointment. And like 35 minutes into the movie, I'm like, this is what it's going to be like, huh? But even younger than that, I'm trying to think of something. Here's one. Okay, I remember loving Mortal Kombat from 1995, and then Mortal Kombat 2 came out. And I didn't even know it hit theaters. Like, I had no clue this went to theaters. And maybe it only went to theaters for like 2 weeks and made no money because the movie was so bad. But then we saw the movie at the video store. And I was like, oh my God, there's a sequel to Mortal Kombat and I didn't know about this? And keep in mind, Mortal Kombat was my life when I was a kid. Like, if there was a magazine with Mortal Kombat, I would buy that magazine. If there was I watched the Mortal Kombat animated series as a kid. I played the games. I loved everything about it. I had Mortal Kombat posters on my walls. And I could do fatalities for Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and I could do... Who else? Oh, I could do Cyrex's fatalities as well. Anyway, besides the point, when I rented Mortal Kombat 2 at Blockbuster, I was so excited. I could not wait to get home. And in typical fashion, we'd go to Blockbuster, we'd stop at Domino's Pizza, get the pizza, go home, and it was like the best Friday night you could ever ask for. The sun is going down. You're like, okay, man, it's movie night time. So I popped in Mortal Kombat 2 Annihilation. And not only was it called Annihilation, but it annihilated any hope that I had this was going to be a good movie. 5 minutes into the movie, I was like, what the fuck is this junk? Like, it just looked like they shot it in someone's backyard. It's a whole new cast of actors and characters, and it just felt so cheap. And I was like, no. And it broke my childhood heart, and I'll never forget it. So that is one of the most disappointing movies I remember watching when I was a stupid little kid. It was Mortal Kombat. That movie is a fatality to cinema. Okay. So if you've ever seen the movie, well, just don't ever watch it. All right, let's go to the next one. Night King 01 says, I did not make this statement in the last stream, but as I said then, I was watching the 93 Three Musketeers. I was shocked that the movie looks better than 99% of movies released today. Whatever happened to effort being put into movies? Well, it's a real movie. It's shot they went to locations. There's big epic cliffs. There's castles. There's Oliver Platt. There's Chris O'Donnell. I get it, man. Yeah, Three Musketeers, you look at that movie and go, yeah, it's kind of a stupid 90s movie. But then you really pay attention to it and you're like, no, they actually really filmed the shit out of this. And I do agree with you. It looks more cinematic than movies that you're seeing today that cost $90 million that you're watching on Netflix. I do agree with you. It is a fun time. What was the question? Oh, it was more of a statement. Yeah, I agree with you, man. Brandon Robert Kurzges says, you strike me as a 2025 Kanye West fan. Haha. Well, thanks for that, man. Thanks for the anti-Semitic statement you just provided to me. But it's okay. You can have your opinions and I'll have mine. All right. You know what's funny about that is I was just listening to a podcast yesterday where they were talking about Kanye West and how the government is basically blackballing him and he can't even get a checking account anywhere. I find that really intriguing and he's losing his mind. But anyway, thank you for the comment. And because you super chatted $2, that's fine. Gorilla Beach says, is Natasha Henridge at Mukoltakas? I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. Laughing Stock Media says, also Ferreira from Man of Steel is just, whoa, she is great in dark too. Man, you got a thing for chicks in dark eyeliner and leather pleather suits. I'll tell you that. And I don't disagree. Blu-ray Addict says, John, what's up? What's up with you, man? How you doing? And how is everybody doing right now watching, okay? Let's all talk about movies. Feel free to chime in the normal chat. Talk about whatever you guys want. We'll answer a few more questions. But first, what I want to do is I want to take just a quick, 1 minute break. I'm going to get another beverage. So if you guys want to grab something salty to eat, something cold to drink, 3 ice cubes, no more, no less, and especially after watching Final Destination Bloodlines, you don't want to put too much ice in your drink because there just might be a shard of glass in that shit. And so the motto and the saying stands true to this day, more so than ever. 3 ice cubes, no more, no less. Originally, I didn't want to water down my beverage, but now I just don't want to cut my jugular with a shard of glass. So anyway, let's take one quick break. And so if you guys have any questions, please get them in right now during this quick break. And then I will come back and answer every single question. So get those in right now. I'll be right back. And as a wise man once said, I'll be back. Why? Okay. Why do you cry? Okay. Anyway, let's continue on, and I hope you guys got a beverage and something to snack on. So let's answer a few more questions, and then we will wrap up the live show. But we're not going anywhere just yet. We got a few minutes still to hang out. The next one comes from Brandon Robert Kurges. We already answered this one, the anti-Semitic question. Thank you for that, Robert. Thank you so much. Chris Alamu says, I can't get enough of this live stream. Maybe do another 2 hours. I don't know if I have another 2 hours in me. I'm sort of, usually after 2 hours of talking, my brain starts turning into mashed potatoes. And by the way, do you guys want to see something, a little behind the scenes? Let me show you this. Hang on. These are my notes for the show. This is how I take notes for my shows. I tape this to my camera. And that's it. That's all my research material and everything I'm going to say about the topics. The rest I just sort of make up as I go. So yeah, some notes for the show. I'll pick that up later. The other thing I wanted to mention to you guys real quick as I have you here is, are you guys familiar with the app called Whatnot? It's where you do live auctions of things and you host them with a video. I've been thinking about doing this for a while now because I have a lot of Blu-rays and movies, new ones and old, that I think it would be fun I think it would be kind of fun to auction them off on Whatnot. And they typically go cheaper than they do on eBay, typically. So, but the cool thing about it is you guys can join into these live auctions, and you guys can bid on these things if you want. And then if you guys want them, I'll send them to your house or wherever. But I just think it sounds kind of fun. Let me know if you guys are into that. Have you guys ever used Whatnot? Do you like it? I've actually never used it, but let me know. And also another quick update for everyone watching right now is I finally did it. I now have a Letterboxd account. So if you guys were following me before, it probably was not me, because every iteration of the word flickpick has been taken. And trust me, it took me 20 minutes of typing in everything relating to John Flickinger, the flickpick that I could, to find one name that was available. So anyway, if you guys want to follow me on Letterboxd, my Letterboxd is John Flickpick. It'll be a thumbnail of my face with a yellow background as per typical or as per usual. So if you want to follow me, please do. I'll show you John Flickpick. Yeah, here's a Letterboxd account that is not mine. There's 4 followers on this. That is not me. Son of a bitch. But anyway, I'm sure you guys will figure it out. Here, I'll show you. Hang on. Let me find it. We need visuals to represent what we're talking about. Here we go. Okay. Now, keep in mind, I barely know how to use Letterboxd. I'm not saying I will be the most active person on the website, but I did start one, and I have some stuff on there now. So here it is. That's my Letterboxd account. It'll look like that. And so there you go. That's my official Letterboxd account. So if you want to follow me, please do. I'd love to see you there. Thank you guys so much. Okay. All right, let's go to the next question here. And the next one comes from Avocado Balls Johnson once again. Would you wear a replica of Arnold's studded jacket that he steals from one of the punks in the first Terminator movie? Yes, I would. Now, would I wear it in public? That's a question for another time. But occasionally, I think it would be fun to wear in YouTube videos. I have a handful of jackets relating to movies. Like I have a Pizza Planet jacket that I don't feel like I could wear a lot of places, but I think that's probably the one that I would most be comfortable wearing in society. I have a Top Gun Maverick jacket, and most importantly, I have the Drive jacket. Keep in mind, this is a white, silky jacket with a golden scorpion on the back of it. There's not a lot of places you can wear that in public, but I like to wear it for you guys on special occasions. Okay, let's go to the next one. But yeah, I'd wear the Arnold jacket. Laughing Stock Media says, longtime fan, just wanted to say thank you. T2 is way better than all. T2 is the best action movie ever made. I agree with you. And thanks for being a longtime fan, man. Thank you so much. It's still bizarre to me. It's almost surreal to me that people have been watching me for 15 years on YouTube. It is a weird, bizarre thought when I close my eyes at night. And sometimes the pressure really gets to me and it almost gives me an anxiety attack. But at other times, it puts me at ease and puts a nice warm tingly feeling right where I want it. And wherever that is, you can decide. But anyway, it does make me feel good inside. I do appreciate that so much. And I do mean it genuinely when I say it. When people say they've been watching for a long time, it does brings a tear to my eye almost. But I suck it back in because I'm not afraid. I'm a man. All right, let's go to the next one here. And the next one comes from Neil McCauley, who says, do you edit your own videos or have an editor? I wish I had an editor. Oh, if I could just shoot a video and just blah, 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 and here, take this shit and make it good. Oh, my life would be so much better. No, I edit everything I do. Every single video I've ever made, I edited. Maybe except for like one. Except for one of them. I had a pal named Alex edit it for me. But other than that, no, and then I take that back. I had someone edit my family video tour video, the second one that I did. I had my buddy edit that, and I paid him to do it and everything. But outside of those two videos, I edit everything, but I wish I had an editor. But here's the thing about having an editor. I wouldn't want to give my worst enemy my unedited footage, because sometimes whenever you guys see a 10-minute review of me talking, that's usually about 35 minutes of me in this chair just rambling on about the most nonsensical shit. Then I make a few points. Then I ramble on about the most nonsensical shit. Then I get up to go pee. Then I get up to grab an energy drink. Then I go check the front door when the Amazon guy comes. Then I go turn down the thermostat and I come back. I get up and go when I'm making videos quite often. So if someone had to edit one of my videos, I think they would just jump out of a window. But I would like a video editor, especially for like bigger videos. That would be nice. But do you guys know a guy? Let me know. Does he work cheap? Let me know. Yeah, hey, if you guys edit videos, hey, email me. My email is down below. It's at johnflickchannel@gmail.com. And send me a few videos that you've edited, that you've done. Please do. I'll pay you. I don't have a lot, but I'll pay you. Okay, let's go to the next one here. And the next one comes from Gorilla Beach once again, who says, thanks for all the great entertainment, John. Also, why did you not do a return to that Swiss Film Festival or maybe any other European ones? Well, the reason I went to the Zurich Film Festival 2 times, and keep in mind, the last time I went there was 2017, was because they invited me to go. They paid for my plane ticket, they paid for my hotel, they paid for everything. So that would be a very expensive film festival to attend. so like going to ones here in the US, yeah, that's doable, but man, going to one in Europe, that is a commitment. So that's why I didn't go back. And plus their film festival, it was fine, but it didn't have a lot of big movies playing at it. It had like one or two, it had like usually like one okay big movie. But yeah, it wasn't that big of a festival. Daniel Green says, John, just watched Magazine Dreams. I'm very jealous of Killian Maddox for the Michael Hearn scene. I really enjoyed the movie. Thanks for the recommendation. Oh, that's awesome, man. That's you put a lot of weird shit in there, but yeah. The Michael Hearn scene. So you're my number one fan, huh? Yeah, if you guys haven't seen Magazine Dreams, I still think it's probably like in my top 2 or top 3 movies of the year. I should probably make a review for that movie. I think I will. I liked it quite a bit. It's my kind of movie. I love movies about someone who has this strong passion and desire to do something to the point where they'll almost kill themselves to do it. It reminds me of movies like Whiplash or Nightcrawler. That's sort of the same vibe I got from Magazine Dreams. And by the way, if you guys are YouTube members, feel free to chime in right now in the chat. I'll try to read everything you guys are typing in there as well. We got one here from Jeff Hostman who says, John, favorite TV shows growing up. Well, my life revolved around getting off the school bus in time, running inside my living room so I could watch the Batman animated series that always felt like started way too early for kids who went to school. But yeah, I used to watch Hey Arnold. I would watch sitcoms like Married with Children. I liked watching Beavis and Butthead. It was kind of like the cool, edgy show to watch when you were a stupid little kid. I watched a lot of Nickelodeon shows. Even like the game shows on Nickelodeon were good, but I liked Are You Afraid of the Dark on Nickelodeon, Ren and Stimpy. I watched all that occasionally. I watched the, what else was there? Oh, Boy Meets World was always good. The TGIF Friday lineup was a good time. I remember always liking all of those shows. I'm trying to think what else I watched as a kid. I mean, really, to be honest, I used to watch like WWF Raw's War every Monday night as a kid. I started watching that in like 5th grade, so that was like my go-to. King of the Hill, The Simpsons. Yeah, I miss those days. Okay, the next one comes from Daniel Green, who says, John, just watch Oh, I already answered this. I'm getting old. Blu-ray Addict says, are you looking forward to the new Fear Street movie that comes out next Friday on Netflix? I know nothing about this movie, and you just telling me it comes out next Friday on Netflix, I was unaware of that. But I'll check it out, but I didn't know anything about it. until you said something. I'll tell you what, I am looking forward to the movie Weapons coming out from the director of Barbarian. That might be my most anticipated horror film of this year. That is how you make a trailer. That is eerie. It's creepy. It tells you nothing, but I want to see it more than anything else. Chris Alamu says, plans for tomorrow. I got to crank out a Mission Impossible 8 review, so I need to put that review out. I also have to put together this review for a projector where I have some footage that we shot outside on my projector screen that I got to tie into it. Those are the next 2 videos I have to put out very soon. Cosborn says, John, point blank, is being a husband just awesome or what? It's definitely kind of cool. I never thought I would get married in life, but it's kind of nice to settle down. It's like one less thing you have to worry about. You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, we can just enjoy this. So yeah, it's nice. It comes with its problems, but nevertheless, you know, it is nice. I wouldn't change it for the world. GF Hostman says, have you seen Cartoon Network shows as well? The best ones were Dexter, Lab Ed, Ed, and Eddie. I was never a big fan of Cartoon Network shows like Johnny Bravo. The only thing I liked was like the Oblongs. And I think that was on Cartoon Network, but I was never a big Cartoon Network guy. I know. Chris Alamu says, John, what did you eat for breakfast? Well, typically I eat a Jimmy Dean's breakfast McGriddle. Or McGriddle? Is that what I'm thinking of? Breakfast McGriddle? It's not a McGriddle. That's what it's kind of like a McGriddle, but less gross. It's a griddle cake from Jimmy Dean's. I typically put that in the microwave for 2 minutes, no more, no less, and it is perfection. You put a little syrup on it. Oh! But today my wife made me some bacon and eggs with a little chili sauce on the eggs. Oh, I'm hungry. I need to go eat. Okay, I'm going to answer just one more question here, guys. So this is going to be the last question. So please don't ask any more questions. I've been doing my best to try to answer as many as I possibly can. Here it goes from Night King 01, who says, John, what are your thoughts on the movie Lincoln? I think it's one of Spielberg's last great films. I liked the movie Lincoln. Now, the story that it focused on about the Civil War and that aspect of his life, I thought it was intriguing, but part of me wanted more of a Lincoln biopic that encompassed more of his life. Maybe that's just me, but I think what we got was fantastic. I love how real it felt. It felt so immersive. The sets felt real. The people. You had Daniel Day-Lewis, who I think was made to play the role Lincoln. And for a very long time, they were going to have Liam Neeson play Lincoln. But I think Daniel Day-Lewis was the better choice. So yeah, I like the movie. I've only seen it once, but I do feel like I wish it would have focused more on his life overall than just that one segment. But great movie. I don't know if it's one of my favorite Spielberg movies, but I think it's one that someone should watch if you're into history. Definitely. Cosborn, I lied. Okay, I'll answer one more question. Cosborn says, any plans on taking weightlifting training serious again? I have been meaning to get back into the gym because I am getting fatter by the day, okay? And I'm trying to cut back on some of the snacks as much as I can, and I'm glad summer's here because it gives me a reason to go outside again and, like, do yard work. But I do want to get back to the gym very soon. And I think we're going to go this week. And I want to start at least going twice a week during the summer. And plus the thing is in the wintertime, it's just so hard to get out of the house. It's cold. You feel brittle. It just, ugh. So summertime is when I come to life. And maybe it's seasonal depression. Who knows? But yeah, I'm going to start getting back into the gym this summer. Because the thing is, once you let yourself go and you lose all that muscle, it's hard to get it back. And I'm getting to a point where it's like I can kind of see the dad bod coming in. And I'm like, hey, we got to step back for a second here. So I'm trying to hit the gym more this summer. So give me 3 months and we'll see where we're at. Basically, I'm just going to go to the gym and do arm workouts every day. So my biceps are pulsating with power. Jet Gibbon says, would you do or have you done a tour of your room there? I will do one. I did one for members only months and months ago, but I will do a room tour. I'll do that. That's a good video idea. Quick video idea I can do. I do want to do one. So I don't know if I should post it on this channel or the Flickpick channel. But I'll do one. I think that'd be cool because it's at a point now in the Flick Cave where there's enough cool shit in here I'd like to show you guys. Alex says get on TRT and look like Arnold. I kind of looked like Arnold about 9 years ago. All right. And that took a lot out of me to do that. I don't think I'd ever have the energy to do that again. But maybe we'll get 10% of that again. All right, guys. I'm going to wrap up the live show there. But I do want to say, guys, thank you so much for watching, hanging out. And if you guys want to go check out my newest review of Final Destination Bloodlines, it's over on the Flickpick channel right now. So go check it out if you want to. Some in-depth thoughts on that movie. And look out for a Mission Impossible review coming probably tomorrow or at the latest Monday. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the questions. And it does mean a lot. Have a great Saturday night. And I'll see you guys very soon. Take care. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.